Hello, friends. Coming to you from the sanctuary. I believe I'm in Naomi's spot, potentially. I'm not really quite sure. Sometimes I get confused which seat. It might be one over from where she sits. But I'm sitting in the sanctuary nonetheless. Been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of conversations with a lot of my fellow clergy, trying to figure out how we move forward, how we move to the next space where we can be safe and we can be as capable and as careful as we can to come and gather together. And a friend of mine had thrown out some random scripture piece. I was like, oh, it's from the Old Testament. I couldn't tell you what it was. And so I did a little search and I found it, and I thought maybe you'd like to hear it. This comes from the book of Micah in the 4th chapter. In the days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house will be established in the highest of the mountains and will be raised above the hills. Peoples shall stream to it, and many nations shall come and say, Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his paths. From out of Zion shall go forth instruction, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between many peoples, and arbitrate between the strong nations far away. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one will make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. I'm looking forward to the time where we can sit under our own vines and our own fig trees back in our own sanctuary, where I can see you sitting in your unofficial assigned seats, that we can worship and sing together. In all of this, as we try to figure out how we move forward, my biggest, strongest, the piece that keeps me thinking the most is how we do this to keep you all safe, or at least as safe as we can. I know we probably could gather immediately, and maybe we'd be fine. But maybe we would be like the church in California where 180 congregation members were exposed to COVID-19. Or the church in another part of California where they had 70 people who were meeting in houses to try to skirt the rules that were set in place for public safety, and had case after case after case. Or like the choir from church in Washington who sang and had one person sick, and 3/4 of the choir had COVID-19. I would like to be back with you. While I sometimes like my solitude, I am really sick of doing worship on a camera, talking to no one in a room, instead of seeing your faces and being with you. But regardless, when we get back to the mountain of the Lord in this sanctuary, when we get back to our own vines and fig trees, we will do it together. We will do it safely as best we can. But until then, you'll keep getting video messages from me, and you can call or text, send me an email, whatnot. I'd love to hear from you. And we will figure out this thing as we go forward. And the more I learn from talking to colleagues and the experts in this area, I will share with you. I'm putting together right now a little resource guide from some scholars and some theologians that might help you make some sense. So you're not just hearing it from me, but you can hear it from the source themselves. So enjoy the sun. As you can see, it's getting bright out there finally. The rain is drying up. My basement probably only has an inch or two of water today, so that'll be fun to clean up in a little bit. But it's going to be a beautiful day, and it looks like we get a reprieve from all the rain, and we don't have to quite climb into that ark today. So until we talk again, see you soon, friends.